we're going to get started in just a second, and so if everybody will kind of settle in, you know, we've just about outgrown this facility where we got a lot of folks here today, but if you happen to have some seats at your table, I know we got a lot of media standing up back there, and I had intended for the tables to be for coaches and players and administrators, but wherever you want to fight your way into, that's fine. So I think we've got everybody here. Shane, is that correct? Everybody's here? Okay, is Bill here? Bill Blackwell? Would you step back there? Bill's going to say something, but he may have forgotten. Tell you what I'd like to do. Let's open in prayer. We'll ask the Lord's blessing on today. And for those of you who came in a little bit late, this is going to be streamed on the Raider Network. We're working on the MAIS network, but right now, if anybody at home wants to go to raidernetwork.org, then they'll be able to watch this conference. So anyhow, let's bow our heads. Dear Lord, we thank you for the beauty of this day, and Lord, I thank you for all these young men and coaches who are here for hopefully a good week for them. Lord, we know that there'll be 6 winners and 6 losers, but Lord, just make today a special day for them. And Lord, we know many of these guys have never been a part of this before, and I pray that it would be special to them. I thank you for the gifts and abilities you've given them. I thank you for their coaches who have poured so many hours into making them better players and making them better men. And we want to ask you to help us always give you the honor and glory. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay. Mr. Bill Blackwell is on his way. Bill is the executive director of the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame and Museum. And I've said this every year, but a lot of you haven't been here. This facility is second to none in the United States. Now, he did tell me about a new one in Atlanta that might make us second. But anyhow, what a great facility. And let's give him a hand and thank him for letting us have this today.
Thank you, Les, and welcome everyone here today. Glad to see so many bright faces, and congratulations on the successes you've had so far this year. Remind you, young men, that this is going to be among the best times of your life, so enjoy every minute of it. Put your whole self into it. You don't always get to continue playing as you go down the road, and I think some of your fondest memories when you get to be my age will be of the time that you've spent. Listen to your coaches. They have experienced a lot of what you're going through and are trying to make you not only better football players but better people, and learn life skills as well as football skills. So again, thank you for being here today. We hope that everyone has a great day, and the next week or two that you're able to take home one of these trophies. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill, and we appreciate the Sports Hall of Fame, and gosh, we keep getting bigger here, so we may have to cram in a little bit closer. Let me go over the program for today, and essentially we will be just rolling through this hopefully pretty quickly. The teams are going to introduce their players and their coaches, and we'll do that. And then the most important thing about the day, I think, is when we finish with all the introductions, then we're going to ask the teams and the coaches to stay at their tables, and then the media will have access to them. So one thing I want to do is I want to recognize our media, and so I see a lot of familiar faces. I see some faces that aren't so familiar. So I'm going to start with the left side over here. Anybody that's media, if you'll stand up and introduce yourself and who you represent, and then we'll just go down, and if we miss somebody, we'll pick them back up. So let's start over here. over here. Did we miss any of our media? Okay, John Andrew. Well, good. Thank you. I want to thank all of you for being here today. One of the purposes of this certainly is not only for us to get publicity, but more importantly for you to be able to knock all your work off, hopefully in a day. I know you'll be doing some other things this week that aren't just MAIS things, but we do want you to have all the access you need. And again, it will help if the players and the coaches will stay at your table, and then as the media comes to you, that'll be of a great help. Now, at this time, I want to introduce Mr. Brian Eubank. Brian will be in charge of coordinating and doing all of the streaming. We're going to live stream every game, and let me assure you of one thing, it is going to be great. It is going to be great. Their product is incredible, and I think you're going to enjoy the folks who are at home that can't come. People all over the country, they'll be able to see this. I hope you'll encourage all your people to be here, though. It's nothing like actually being at the game. But Brian will handle that, so I'm going to introduce Brian right now. Brian Eubank.
Thank you, Les. First off, all I do is call the games. The guys that I've been associated with, Eddie Weddick, Richard Stafford, Matt and Josh Hinkle, those are the guys that make all the magic happen. And so much work has been going on already. Once Friday night ended for us, we scrambled and started getting ready for these 6 games. We've gotten very little sleep. In fact, I wore tennis shoes today. I forgot my Sunday shoes for this, so it happens. But we're excited about the games, excited about you getting to watch them. There'll be a website that will launch this afternoon. It's maisnetwork.org. That's maisnetwork.org. You'll be able to watch all the games there. You'll be able to purchase a DVD or a digital copy of that. Okay, show of hands, how many of you are familiar with Netflix? Most every kid in here should be, at least. I personally don't have a Netflix account. I'm working on that still, trying to convince the wife. But it works a lot like Netflix. Our digital copy does. And it is something where you can watch it instantly over the weekend. Instead of waiting for a DVD to arrive, you can go ahead and watch that through our Raider Network on-demand library. But we'll be operating all this, again, through maisnetwork.org. What we need from you guys as coaches, and I'll get this with you when we do the interviews, but we'll need rosters and starters, keys to the game, season stats, key players, your coaching record, and after each of your teams are introduced, what you'll need to do is walk straight through where it says upper deck, lower concourse, and go around the stairwell. Raise your hand there, Mr. Stafford. You're going to go that way over there, and we're going to take a left behind that stairwell, and we're going to take some individual headshots so we can have that for our broadcast, because we'll be able to put those pictures up on the screen for you guys to get some more exposure, and for the product to look really good too. We also are going to need a contact from your school that we can help reach out to help promote the event at your school and tell them about the website and also about the DVD and the streaming possibilities. So if you have a business that you have out there that you want to have on the broadcast, we do have some room available for that. You can reach out to me as well, and bubank@raidernetwork.org is my email address. We'll give that out to you coaches too a little bit later on. And then you've got, am I forgetting anything? We've got all the, we're not doing a mannequin challenge this year. We did that last year, but we couldn't find anything hip that you guys were doing, the kids were doing. So we're going to go with just a fantastic production. We hope you guys enjoy it. You'll be able to watch it, I think, for about 12 to 24 hours until we make it available for streaming, and then once that happens, it'll come off of the free watching. But you can watch it free. That is, just make sure everybody knows that. Everything is free during the event, and then you can watch it archived for about 24 hours later and then get a copy of it. But the more people, the better that are in the stands, because it makes it look really good. And make sure that you tell your fans and your students to watch the Jumbotron, because we have the ability to really capture a lot of the fans up close, and they'll get to see themselves up on the screen, which means they'll be archived forever. They'll be forever entrenched with the, and I know you have some crazy fans, right? Anybody have any crazy fans? Yeah, this group does. Yeah, he has some over there. So we appreciate the MAIS, Mr. Les Triplett, David Drake, and Shane Blanton and their entire staff for allowing us to broadcast these events. It's an honor. Good luck to each one of you teams, and let us know if we can do anything.
Thank you, Brian, and once again, I'll reiterate what a great broadcast it will be. A couple of things that I need to do that I neglected earlier. Let me introduce our staff first. Dr. Shane Blanton over here to my right is our executive director, and actually is in his 4th year now, and so Dr. Blanton has a great vision for our association, and we'll be here for a long time. We've been here almost 50 years, and we'll go a lot further than that. So, Shane, thank you. David Drake, who's usually somewhere up top up there. He's our Associate Director of Activities, Director of Technology. And then out front, you met Margaret Rogers and Amanda Brewer. They were checking you in. We have 2 other staff members, Jack West and Renee Hammerstrom, that'll be here later today. One other thing I needed to mention is that during the media access part, I'm going to meet with all the administrators up top up here. We'll either be in the stands or we'll have some chairs set up over in the corner over here, but we will have a administrators meeting. Bring your packets with you, and we'll go over everything for the week. And then I think I mentioned that the most important part was the interviews. I forgot, that's the second most important part. Lunch will be served after all of that, and we have Dickey's Barbecue here today, and you're in for a treat if you've never eaten their food before. So at this time, what I'm going to do is we're going to recognize each team. Let me go over the schedule first so you'll know exactly when we're playing and where we're playing. We got a little bit of a different schedule this year. Starting Thursday at Jackson Academy, our game 1 will be Class A. That will be West Memphis Christian School against Trinity Episcopal Day School. That'll be at 2:30 p.m. at JA. That night at 6:30 p.m. will be our Class 2A championship, St. Joseph Catholic School versus Tri-County Academy. Again, those 2 are at JA. Friday night, we will shift over to Mississippi College for the Class 4A Division I game, Jackson Prep versus Park Lane Academy. And then Saturday, we'll shift back to JA, and we will play 3 games that day. Game 1 will be our 8-man championship, Humphreys Academy versus Briarfield Academy at 11 a.m. Then at 2:30, we will have our Class 3A championship, Indianola versus Starkville. And then to wrap up our championship weekend, Saturday, we will have our Class 4A Division II game at 6:30, Lamar School versus Simpson Academy. So we have a full week this week. We hope you'll encourage all of your fans to be here, and let's get a good crowd out there and let's have some fun. Now, what we're going to do, because I'm so used to this, we're going to start with the 8-man group, and we'll just move our way up classification-wise, and we'll ask them one team at a time to come up. And what we'll do, coaches, is you will bring your team up, let them line up behind you, introduce who's with you, say 1 or 2 things about the game. I know you'll tell them how great the other team is, and that's fine. And we will, when you finish with that, we'll let you move off the stage, and then we'll ask the next group to come up. So our first group today, and remember they're going to play Saturday morning at 11 a.m., would be our 8-man team, 8-man championship. It'll be Humphreys Academy and Briarfield Academy. So the visitors on the scoreboard will be Briarfield, so I'm going to ask them to come up first. Coach Bo Travis, if you'll bring your group up here, we'll let you say a thing or two about the game after you introduce everyone.
All right, first I'd like to introduce our assistant coach, defensive coordinator, Will Jackson. Next up, we got Holt Martin, quarterback, Grayson Parker, running back, linebacker, Danny Sullivan, linebacker, and Cade Howard, defensive end and guard. Obviously, it's a big game for everybody this week. Congratulations, everybody making it to the championship game. We got a tough opponent in Humphreys, and we hope to come out and make a good showing and bring home a win.
One thing I neglected to mention is Briarfield is 10-2 right now. And as I said, they'll be the visitor. Our home team for the 8-man championship will be Humphreys Academy. They have a record of 12-0 right now. And so I'm going to ask Coach Joe Taylor to bring his group up.
I'd like to introduce my defensive coordinator and the headmaster is Joe Taylor. Defensive end, Braden Manna. Quarterback, Guys Hill. Wide receiver, running back, Justin Foxworth. Wide receiver, running back, Walker Dunn. It's been a great year for us. When we started this year, we knew we was going to play. If we did our deal, we were going to end up with Briarfield in the championship, and looks like that's what happened, and they're going to be a tough battle, but we're going to prepare all week, and we'll see what happens on Saturday.
Coach McClendon, I didn't mean to give Joe the credit there. Joe's the headmaster, and I really thought he had decided to take over after y'all went 10-0 since he's the headmaster and he controls all of the checks there, but I apologize for that. Again, that game's at 11 a.m. Saturday. Our next group will be our Class A group. That will be West Memphis Christian School, who will be home on the scoreboard, versus Trinity Episcopal Day School. So at this time, I'm going to ask Coach Graham Roberts and the Trinity Episcopal group to come up here and let him introduce them and tell you a thing or two about the game.
On behalf of Trinity Episcopal, I'd first like to say thank you to Mr. Les Triplett and David Drake, everybody at the MAIS for hosting us here today. Thank you for the opportunity to play. Congratulations to all the teams out there that have made it. We are truly excited at Trinity. I would like to first start by introducing our headmaster, Ms. Christina Daugherty, my defensive coordinator, Shane Daugherty, my assistant offensive coordinator, Tim McKnight, my assistant coach, Brian Isaac, assistant coach, Stuart Mallory. I've got one of my wide receivers, Damon Fleming, my middle linebacker, Chris Jennis, my free safety and wide receiver, Jacarius Caston, and my quarterback, Sterling Yarbrough. We got kind of a slow start to our season. Very excited about the opportunity to be here. We picked it up at the right time. Got to watch some film here lately on West Memphis, and they are truly an impressive team. Hopefully we will have a good turnout there, because I think it's going to probably be a pretty fun game to watch, and I know it's going to be a fun game to coach and play in. Thank you guys for being here, and good luck to everybody.
By the way, Trinity brings a record of 7-5 in, and their opponent will be our Class A representative. They'll be the home team. I'd like for Coach Darrell Anderson to bring his West Memphis Christian School group up to the front. Remember, that game will be played Thursday afternoon at 2:30 p.m.
Number one, I want to thank the MAIS for the opportunity to be up here. We're grateful and thankful for the opportunity to be up here to play. You know, we started off this year 0-2, and we came out with a 6-game win streak, and then came out and got beat by Oak Hill, and has finished out on I think a 4 or 5 game win streak going in here to the state championship game. So I mean, it's been kind of our guys have continually gotten better and better each week. And kept working to get better. So we're very thankful for the opportunity to be here. Thankful for all the people at the MAIS that do what you do to have us here. To introduce our guys, we wouldn't be here today without this guy here. Did an awesome job this year on the defensive side of the ball. We've defensive coordinator Coach Davison, Marcus Davison, our offensive tackle, defensive tackle Byron Rossell. Number 74, number 66, who plays left guard and middle linebacker, Hayden Ellis. And number 2, who really runs our offense really well, is Parker Benson. And number 28, who was our leading rusher this year, Thomas Wharton. So like I said, we're thankful. We want to wish the best of luck to everybody. We've seen some film on Trinity, and Trinity's really impressive, got a lot of speed. I expect a good ball game. Expect a battle. So, thank you.
By the way, the rest of the year, Byron has agreed to be my bodyguard. Byron, okay? So, before he goes to Louisiana Tech, he has agreed to help me out. So, anybody wants to get mad at him, he's got to go through Byron. Okay, now our Class 2A game, which will feature Tri-County Academy and St. Joe Catholic School. St. Joe will be the home team on the scoreboard. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Coach David Blunt and his Tri-County Academy team. They bring a record of 9-4 in, and I don't know if I mentioned this a second ago, but West Memphis brings a record of 10-2 in. So anyhow, Tri-County Academy, that game will be Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Coach Blunt.
First of all, congratulations to everyone that's here. I think it's 12 of us left now, and it's a great honor to be here and preparing for a state championship game. We're excited to be here. We've been here a couple other times, and the last 2 years hadn't turned out too well, so we're working really hard to try to make this one turn out well. But we're playing a very good opponent, Greenville St. Joe. They have speed all over the field. They're great defensively and offensively, and we know we have our work cut out for us, but you know, we're looking forward to the challenge. I brought my assistant coaches here with me. First of all, Clay Blunt. He's our trick play artist guru. And Josh Osborne, defensive coordinator. Cody Saxton, he is my offensive line coach. Cooper Hillman, receivers and secondary. And I have 4 seniors here with me. Garrett Harmon, he's a wide receiver, running back, kick returner, safety, corner. Whatever we need him to play, he can play it. I have Mason Reeves. He is a center and plays defensive end. I have John Williamson, defensive tackle and offensive tackle. Then I have Trace Saxton, and he is an offensive tackle and defensive tackle. These are 4 seniors I've coached for about 5 or 6 years. Outstanding group of kids. I'm excited for them to be here and get this opportunity. And once again, we're excited to be here. Congratulations to everybody, and good luck. Thank you. Somewhere out there, he won't come up here, is Joe Gooseby, my AD. I don't know where he is.
Their opponent for Thursday night will be St. Joseph Catholic School. I'm going to ask Coach John Baker and his group to come up. They bring a record of 10-2 into the game. While they're on their way up, come on, Coach, y'all come on up. Brian just told me there are 110 people watching this stream right now, so pretty good word of mouth. Y'all did a great job. So if you want to call some other folks, get them involved in this. So come on up, Coach.
Thanks, Les, and thank you to the rest of the MAIS for making this thing happen, and also to the Mississippi Hall of Fame. This is a great facility. We're excited about this this Thursday ball game against Tri-County, a well-coached team, a ball club that seems like they're in the state championship every year. This is our first time. We look forward to it. We look forward to working hard and making it a good game. If I could, let me introduce some of my staff members and some of my players. Coach Johnny Bly, Coach James Hunter, my quarterback here, Bryce Johnson, Reggie Cotton, wide receiver, Joquez Sanders, middle linebacker, and Britton Verdon, center. And also Coach Benny Strazzi back there. He's our athletic director. He makes everything happen. We look forward to Thursday. Thank you.
Now we will move to Saturday. Our second game of the day on Saturday at 2:30 will be Starkville Academy versus Indianola Academy. Indianola will be the home team. At this time, they will recognize Starkville Academy. Coach Chase Nicholson and his group, they bring a record of 12-1 into the game. So, Coach, y'all come on up.
I'll start as they ease on up here. Excited about the opportunity, excited about the day. This is my 13th year coaching, my third year head coach. So I'm very, very excited, and I'm probably going to show it right now. But it's an honor to stand in front of all y'all. Been able to play a lot of y'all already along the way. Great coaches, great players. I love the MAIS. I've been around it my whole entire life. I'm going to start the introduction with my defensive coordinator, strength coach Brad Butler. Defensive line coach, the one and only Bubba Davis. Athletic director, O-line coach Tony Stanford. This is a wide receiver / defensive back William Wolf. Quarterback defensive end Noah Methvin. Brady Richardson, wide receiver, strong safety, and superback linebacker Noah Smith. All four of these are our standing captains. So they're here today. Of course, they're seniors on their way out. They're a great group of guys. 3 of them been with us for 3 years. Have started from the bottom and worked their way up. We're excited about the Indianola game. We had a little preview of it, obviously, early in the season. We're excited for another round. I think they're just as excited. I know Coach Nestor and me talked a few weeks ago about the opportunity, hoping that we were going to meet again on Saturday, and so here it is. So I hope to see y'all out there. Thank y'all.
Just a comment about Chase. Chase did a great job of hiring assistants. Some of his assistants, I think, have already been in here as a coach at state championship coaches at the MHSAA. But Chase, you got a great group. I know we got a lot of great assistant coaches here today, and the head coaches will tell you how important they are to their program. Starkville will be playing against Indianola Academy. They bring a record of 13-0 into this game, and they're coached by Tommy Nestor. So, Coach Nestor, if you'll bring your group up and introduce Indianola Academy.
We too are very excited to be playing in this ball game. It's It's going to be a great day. It's always a fun privilege, the opportunity to get to compete on the football field. We're going to play a very good football team in Starkville Academy. We're going to both have to play our best game of the year to win the ball game. It's going to be a very exciting football game. Our head of school is Mr. Sammy Henderson. Our assistant coach, Cleet Putnam, Alan Hill, Ray Bridges, and Shan Wright. And I do have to say, like Les said, I do have a great group of men helping me. What an outstanding job they do teaching our young men the game of football and also about the game of life. And then our players I have here today is William Barrier, our free safety, Jack Dodd, our linebacker, Schiefer Phillips, defensive end and guard, and Sebastian Harris, our running back. I'd also like to thank the MAIS for the outstanding job that they do of hosting this event. And again, we're very excited to be here. Thank you.
Just a reminder, that game will be Saturday at 2:30 p.m. The final game of the weekend will actually be the Class 4A Division II group, where Simpson Academy will play Lamar School. And first of all, Lamar will be the home team on the scoreboard. At this time, I'd like for the Simpson Academy group to come up. They bring a record of 8-4 into the championship, and Coach Dan Napier and his group, if you'll come on up.
We want to thank the MAIS and the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame for putting this on and for having us. We're excited to be in this game. Our guys love to play football, and we're just excited to get to play for one more week. Our coaches we got here today is our headmaster, Billy Hankins, our athletic director, Winston Mullins, Gerd Warren, Marnie Walker, Amy Green, and we've got our running back, Dylan Hallman, running back, Cook Weathersby, offensive lineman Jared Bridges, and defensive back Zach Ainsworth. So once again, thank y'all all for having us. Congratulations to everybody that's here, and good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Simpson's opponent Saturday night will be Lamar School. They bring a record of 10-3 into the game, and they're coached by Mac Barnes. So, Coach Barnes, if you'll bring your group up and recognize them.
We too, like everyone else, are extremely excited to be here, and it's a combination of a lot of different people, and I'm glad to be able to introduce them to you today. First of all, our head of school is Ms. Leanne Ballou, and our athletic director, Shane Adams, and we appreciate all that they do to support athletics and to create a good environment for our kids. We have our coaching staff here. Henry Sanders coaches our offensive line. Modell coaches our defensive line linebackers. Charles Schaefer, the secondary and defense coordinator, and Tyler Cunningham, who is a new father as of 3 days ago, 3 or 4 days ago, 3 days ago. He coaches our quarterbacks and wide receivers. So I appreciate all the work that they do. We have a good time coaching together. I know you're counting 5 guys up here. I just put myself at the mercy of Les by bringing 5. These 5 guys moved up as 9th graders and have started every game. And I just could not leave one of them at home. So I apologize for breaking the rule, but they deserve to be here, and I appreciate all that they've done for us. Our players, this is Charlie Ballou. He plays a defensive tackle for us. This is DJ McGrew. He's an outside linebacker and plays a little bit everywhere on offense. This is JT McClellan. JT's our running back. JD Lee is our inside linebacker, leads us in tackles, and Blake Deering is defensive end for us. And these 5 guys have been, our whole senior class has been wonderful. These 5 guys have just been great leaders, and it makes coaching worthwhile to be involved with people like this. So we're playing Simpson. I think we're one of 4 rematches in the state championship. We happened to beat Simpson the first time we played 63-55 in regulation. So needless to say, we're looking for an extremely tough battle. Simpson plays football the way it's supposed to be played. So while we enjoy playing them and enjoy the friendships, we look for an extremely tough game. Thank you.
Our final game, actually not the final game, but the final group we'll introduce, the final classification, will be our Class 4A Division I. That will be the one game at Mississippi College. It'll be Friday night at 6 p.m., and it will feature Park Lane Academy versus Jackson Prep. Park Lane brings a record of 10-2 into the game, and so at this time I'm going to ask Coach Brian Stutzman and the Park Lane group to come forward. And Coach Stutzman, you can introduce.
Like the other coaches said, you know, we're excited to be here. Really been blessed this season. We've had a great group of seniors. I had 19 seniors. Brought 4 of them with me today. Brant Watson plays quarterback and outside linebacker. Trent Coleman plays running back. Newland Gillihan, tight end, defensive end. And Jake Passman is our center. My coaches, Robbie Eisenhood, Charlie Newland, Ken Callender, Will Hedgepeth, Stephen Cooksey, and Stacy Smith is a volunteer coach for us. He had to work, so he didn't come. Mr. Henderson and the administration have also been very supportive of us. It's been since 1994 since Park Lane's been in the state championship, and we're excited to be here and looking forward to a great game. Thank y'all.
You know, one of the predominant themes I think we've seen today is that all of these schools have great assistant coaches. I alluded to it earlier, but our head coaches have done a great job of hiring good assistant coaches. As I said, the game, the 4A D1 game will be played Friday night at 6 p.m. The home team on the scoreboard will be Jackson Prep. They bring a record of 12-0 into the contest. And so at this time, I'm going to ask Coach Ricky Black to bring his prep group up.
Thank you. We're blessed just like every other team being here. And I know there's a lot of good coaches here. I see a lot of good coaches, a lot of coaches I've coached against many years, coached with. There's a lot of good coaches here. And every one of you know that administration is a big part of it. And I'd like to thank our headmaster, and Luke Neal, our principal, for their support. Will Crosby is our athletic director. And always like to show our appreciation to Sports Hall of Fame, because what they do here, they do for high school sports, they do for college, they do for pro, and we're just glad to be a part of that, because Mississippi sports is about high school players. Thank you, Mr. Blackwell and the Sports Hall of Fame, Mr. Blanton, Mr. Drake, Mr. Triplett, for their efforts putting this together, and their staff. Coaching staffs, they're always important, and I feel like we have the best, and I'm sure your school feels like yours are the best too. Our defensive staff, Coach Nick Brewer does our defense coordination, assisted by linebacker Coach Rusty Burke, Jimmy Nix. Our offense is put together, what we run on offense. Marcus Thompson, offensive line coach. Jacob Land, wide receiver coach. Also helping with us in our offensive line is Les Triplett this year. He's been a very good coach and a very good aid to our program. The people we usually bring to this is our captains. We feel like they're the leaders of the team, and what they do for the team kind of demonstrates how the team is. We always like to recognize our captains and bring them to the press conference. Quarterback, number 5, Chance Levertich. A little salute would be good. Okay, thank you. 12, Cooper Carroll. Number 13, Maddox Hendry, defensive back, wide receiver. Cooper's a defensive back, wide receiver. And number 32, Reed Peets, linebacker, running back. We have a very, very good opponent, Park Lane, a very good football team. People have seen them on film, know what kind of team they are. And it's a very sound, a very good football team, very well coached. And know it's going to be a very good football game. So, as always, you people that have been here before understand how important it is. And you people talk about, say, hey, it's been 50 years. People still talk about how they played in high school. Well, I just experienced that myself this past year, 50th reunion. So you do talk about football for 50 years. So the experience you have here is going to be great and one you remember. Thank you.
I know you're glad that that's the last time you're going to hear me squeak up these stairs, but I do appreciate your attention during all that. Let me go over very quickly what we're going to do the rest of the day. In just a second, we're going to let the media have access to the players and the coaches, and to also Brian Eubank will be asking for some of you also. While we're doing that, we're going to have an administrative meeting upstairs to my left up here. We'll do that as soon as we can. In fact, I'll tell you what, let's do to give you a chance to have just a little bit of a break. It's 10:44 right now, so why don't we say 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock we'll meet upstairs, and we'll go over everything for the games. And then we'll serve lunch probably around 11:45. Please, we want all of you to stay for that. It's a great meal, and you'll have a chance to see some folks and fellowship with them and as we get ready. So I want to thank everyone for being here today, and I want to thank you for being a part of, I think, a very important event we have, and certainly the events of the week, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It's going to be an exciting time. One of the things that I think makes this is all 12 of you think you've got a great chance at the gold ball, and that's what makes good football. So at this time, we're going to give the media access, and then remember at 11 a.m. I'll meet with our administrators. Thank you.